There's one thing women often don't admit out loud, but it's a universal truth. They fear losing someone they thought would always be there. At first, she was comfortable. She believed she had you figured out. You were always available, always responsive, always eager to engage with her. She could pull away, test you, or even act distant because, in her mind, you would always be there, waiting. But then, without warning, something shifted. You stopped reacting. Suddenly, the little moves she used to make, taking hours to text back, dropping hints about other men, testing your patience, weren't having the same effect anymore. Instead of chasing, questioning, or doubling down on your attention, you went silent. You were no longer predictable, and that's when the fear begins. She won't say it out loud. She won't text you saying, "Hey, I feel like I'm losing you." No, her pride won't allow that. But you'll start noticing subtle signs. She might randomly view your stories but not engage. She might post more, trying to look like she's unbothered, but really hoping you'll notice. She might start testing you in indirect ways, maybe with a sudden, just checking in message to see how you react. Because here's the secret. When a woman starts fearing that she's losing you, she fights it silently before she fights it openly. The thoughts start creeping in late at night. What if he's actually moving on? What if he was more valuable than I realized? What if another woman is taking my place? This is the moment when her fear turns into something unexpected: urgency. Suddenly, the man she once thought she could keep on the sidelines is slipping away, and the loss of control sends her into emotional panic mode. And the best part, you didn't chase, beg, or manipulate. You simply became scarce. The fear of replacement is her greatest weakness. Women don't panic when they lose a man they were never invested in. They panic when they lose a man of value. Because now she's realizing something dangerous. You're not reacting the way most men do. Most men try to prove their worth, chase harder the moment she pulls away. But you did the opposite. You pulled back. You let her feel your absence. You didn't fill the silence with desperate attempts to get her attention. Instead, you focused on yourself, became indifferent, and subtly let her know that her place in your life wasn't permanent. And this is when she starts feeling the loss. She assumed she could replace you. She assumed you'd always be an option. She assumed she had control. Now she's sitting with the terrifying reality that you're not waiting anymore. This isn't just about ego. It's about emotional survival. Women hate the idea of being forgotten, of becoming irrelevant in the mind of a man they once had a grip on. And now she's watching from the sidelines, realizing she overplayed her hand. The worst part? She can't even admit it. Instead, she'll act out in subtle ways, posting pictures or engaging with your mutual friends, just to see if you react. She might like old pictures, hoping to get your attention. Deep down, she's the one feeling forgotten. And the more she feels like an afterthought, the more she starts craving the thing she lost: your attention. Now here's where most men mess up. She starts showing little signs of regret. Maybe she watches all your stories. Maybe she texts you with a weak excuse. Maybe she suddenly wants to check in. And what do most men do? They jump at the chance. They take the bait, re-engage too soon, and act like she never pulled away in the first place. And just like that, the power shift reverses. She's back in control. But a man who truly understands attraction doesn't fold that easily. Instead of jumping back into the dynamic she expects, he maintains his position of strength. He stays focused on his purpose, keeps living his life, and treats her return not as a win, but as a natural consequence of his newfound confidence. He knows that her fear of losing him is not an invitation to reward her. It's proof that he's now in the position of power. That's when she starts realizing that this time, she's the one chasing. At first, she tried to rationalize your absence. She convinced herself that you were just busy, that maybe you needed space. But as more time passed, something inside her shifted. That's when the fear turned into something much more dangerous. Obsession. She no longer just wonders about you in passing. Now she's actively looking for answers, searching for signs that she still has some kind of hold over you. Every day that goes by, without a response from you, without a reaction, without any sign that she still occupies space in your mind, she begins to unravel a little more. And the irony, she put herself in this position. She was the one who created this distance, but now she's left wondering how to get back the control she once had. She was the one who pulled back, acting distant, assuming you would chase after her. She was the one testing your patience, playing with your emotions like a cat, batting at a toy, thinking you'd always be there, always return, always try to fix things. But instead, you did something she wasn't prepared for. You walked away, and now she's left wondering, has he really moved on? Did I overplay my hand? Did I lose him for good? This is the power shift she never saw coming. While she was playing the game, thinking she was the one in control, she didn't realize you had the ability to end the game completely, and that terrifies her. Suddenly all those options she thought she had don't seem so appealing anymore. The new guys she was entertaining, well, they're not you. The attention she was getting doesn't feel the same. When she compares them to you, something is missing, something she can't quite put her finger on. She thought she could replace you, but she never expected to feel your absence this deeply. Now, every interaction feels forced. Every conversation with another guy feels hollow. She's laughing, but it doesn't feel real. She's pretending, but the truth is creeping up on her. And the moment she realizes that no one else is making her feel what you once did, that's when the regret hits full force. But here's the catch. She can't admit it. Not to her friends, not to herself, not even to you. So instead, she does what most women do when they start feeling desperate. She starts creating ways to get back into your life without making it obvious. Maybe she suddenly likes an old post of yours. Maybe she starts watching all your stories again. Maybe she accidentally runs into you at places she knows you'll be. Maybe she sends a random message about something meaningless just to see if you'll bite. She's looking for any sign that you'll open the door for her to come back in. But here's where most men fail. They give her that chance too soon. And the second she realizes she can still get your attention whenever she wants, the fear disappears, the obsession fades, and the cycle starts all over again. This is where you have to stand firm, because the moment you understand how this dynamic works, you hold all the power. A man who controls his emotions, controls his actions, and doesn't break his position. That's the man she can never forget. The emotional roller coaster from denial to desperation. At this point, her mind is a mess. 1 minute she's convincing herself she's fine, that she never really needed you in the first place. The next minute, she's staring at her phone, debating whether to send a message. Just something casual, something innocent, something that gives her an excuse to reappear in your life without making it seem like she's crawling back. This is the emotional roller coaster she never expected to ride. At first she tells herself, "I'm better off without him." She goes out more, tries to stay busy, maybe even forces a few fake laughs with friends who reassure her, "You'll find someone else." And for a brief moment, she believes them. But then, silence. No texts from you, no likes, no reactions, nothing. And that's when it happens. The shift from denial to desperation. She was banking on you slipping up. She thought if she stayed quiet long enough, you'd crack under the pressure, that you'd cave in and text her first. After all, that's what most guys do, right? They wait a little, get in their feelings, and then come running back with some weak excuse about checking in. But you're not like most guys. You're doing something rare. You're staying silent, and it's working. Now she's spiraling. Every passing day without you is making her feel something she doesn't know how to handle. True gut-wrenching uncertainty. What if I misread everything? What if I actually mattered to him and I ruined it? What if this isn't a game to him? What if I actually lost him for good? This is where the panic sets in. She starts replaying every interaction, every conversation, trying to find the moment where she might have pushed you too far. Suddenly, she's not just thinking about you, she's obsessing over you. She might even start accidentally bumping into people who know you, casually bringing up your name in conversations, fishing for any information on what you've been up to. And the worst-case scenario for her? Hearing that you're doing just fine. Because nothing burns deeper than realizing the man she assumed would always be an option isn't waiting anymore. Why does this drive her insane? Let's be real. Most women are not used to this reaction. When a woman pulls back, 9 out of 10 guys react exactly the way she expects. They chase, they apologize, they try to prove their worth. And when a man does this, what happens? She loses interest instantly. It's predictable, it's weak, and it reinforces one thing. He needs her validation more than she needs him. She thought she had the upper hand, but now the script is flipped. You're not chasing her, you're not proving anything, and you're not even acknowledging the game she's playing. Instead, you've removed yourself entirely from the equation. And here's the part that messes with her mind the most. If you're not chasing her, then who are you giving your energy to? That single question alone is enough to drive her insane. She starts checking more often, looking for clues. She wants to believe you're struggling without her. She hopes to see some hint of regret, some post, some subtle sign that you're feeling what she's feeling. But all she sees is a man who has leveled up. She's out here second-guessing everything, and you're just living your life. This is what separates the men women respect and desire from the men they tolerate and eventually ignore. Women don't fear losing weak men. They fear losing men of value. And right now, she's starting to realize she lost something she can't easily replace. And that realization, it's eating her alive. The regret phase hits when it finally catches up with her. At first, she tried to convince herself she was fine. She told herself, if he was really worth it, I wouldn't feel this way. I'll find someone else. But now, that confidence is slipping because reality is setting in. You're not coming back. The longer you stay silent, the deeper the regret digs in. She scrolls through old conversations, looking for signs she missed. She replays the last time you spoke, wondering if there was something you said, some clue she overlooked that could have warned her this wasn't just another cycle where you'd always return. And suddenly, It all feels very real for the first time. She's questioning herself, not you. She was so sure that pulling away would make you chase, so sure that playing hot and cold would keep you hooked. But instead, her plan backfired. You adapted, you leveled up, and now she's sitting with an uncomfortable truth. I may have actually lost him. This is the moment where her entire mindset shifts. She thought she had the upper hand, now she feels powerless. She thought you'd come running, now she's the one waiting. She thought she was in control, now she's the one panicking. And the worst part, she can't undo it. Because the moment a woman realizes that a man who once valued her has removed his attention completely, it does something to her ego. It shakes her confidence. It makes her wonder, is he really over me? Was I not as special as I thought? And let's be honest, that's her biggest fear. She doesn't just fear losing you. She fears what it means about her if you no longer see her as valuable. Because the truth is, she thrives on validation, on feeling wanted, on knowing she could have you if she really wanted. But now, that safety net is gone. You're not giving her energy anymore. You're not feeding into the game. You're not reacting at all. And that silence, it's deafening. The panic sets in. She has to do something. This is where she starts scrambling. Her ego won't let her reach out directly. Not yet. That would be admitting defeat. But she has to do something to test the waters, to see if she still holds any power over you. So, she starts getting creative. She posts a story hoping you'll bite. Maybe it's a quote about losing good men. Very subtle, right? Maybe it's a selfie looking a little too perfect, knowing you'll see it. She suddenly interacts with your posts, random likes, a fire emoji, something to say, hey, I still exist. She casually brings you up to mutual friends, knowing it'll get back to you. And here's the trick. None of this is accidental. She wants to remind you that she's still around. She wants you to remember how much you liked her, how much you wanted her. She's hoping she can trigger your emotions the way she expected you to trigger hers. But what happens when you don't take the bait? She spirals even harder, because now she's not just dealing with regret. Now she's dealing with the terrifying possibility that you really truly don't care anymore. And for someone who thought they had all the power, that's a nightmare. At some point, she'll realize she lost a man she should have never taken for granted. She thought she had control, but now she's the one stuck overthinking while you've already moved on. And that's what will haunt her the most. Not just losing you, but knowing you're perfectly fine without her. If this hit home, watch the next video on your screen, because once you master this, everything changes.